Welcome to my Vision News. Some news stories from Ethiopia. Firstly, since last night, some news sources, Amhara news sources, have been reporting that fighting erupted on Sudan-Ethiopia border. That Tigray fighters from Sudan tried to enter Volkite. Any truth in these claims? Secondly, Amhara region social media messaging is underway. Posts are being shared that sit at home. Strikes are starting. That in one city of the Amhara region there was sit at home strike, and today in another city people have gone on strike. And thirdly, viewers, US and EU special envoys to the Horn of Africa have arrived in Mekelle. Mike Hammer and Annette Weber reportedly are in Mekelle these minutes. Firstly, viewers, some Ethiopian news outlets based abroad last night claimed that Tigray fighters from Sudanese soil launched an attack on Volkite, and they claim that fighting erupted, heavy fighting. Fighting was between Tigray fighters and Amhara forces, Amhara fighters. There was no involvement of Ethiopian National Defense Force. The news outlets claim that it happened in the area called Bericht and Lugdo, which are on Sudan-Ethiopia border, western Tigray, Sudan border, Volkite, Sudan border. Now, I have no information to confirm or reject this information, this claim. I could not get any source on the ground. But I don't know why Tigray would like to spoil its chances of taking over Volkite peacefully. Reportedly, Tigray could get Volkite and Raya in coming weeks or months. Some understandings have been reached, and that is what is being claimed by these news sources, which are claiming that fighting erupted yesterday on Ethiopia-Sudan border, and from Sudanese soil, Tigray fighters tried to enter Volkite. If Tigray is set to gain control of Volkite peacefully, why would Tigray fighters launch an attack on Volkite from Sudan? I am unable to understand. And Tigray fighters, when they were mobilized, they were organized on Sudanese soil. Back then, they tried to launch several attacks on Volkite. The third round of fighting, starting from August, they could not take control of Volkite. They retreated. So, do they have any chance of taking over Volkite now by launching attacks from Sudan? No. So, why would then they attack Volkite? Is it just propaganda from Amhara news outlets to put pressure upon Ethiopian federal government, that Ethiopian federal government is not disarming Tigray fighters who are on Sudanese soil? Tigray fighters on Sudanese soil have not been disarmed so far. National Reform Commission chairman a few days ago said that it would happen in coming days, but he confirmed the presence of armed or active Tigray fighters on Sudanese soil. Disarmament, demobilization in Sudan has not happened so far. Maybe through this type of reporting, an attempt is being made to put pressure upon Ethiopian government to disarm Tigray fighters who are on Sudanese soil. So it's going to be difficult for the Sudanese government, Ethiopian government to disarm Tigray fighters on Sudanese soil. if Tigray is not committed. Why? Because Sudan is facing its internal conflict now. Sudanese military, parts of Sudanese military's convoys, they have already left Fashaga. Some are still there, but several convoys of Sudanese military have left Fashaga, Fashaga al-Kubra, Fashaga al-Sughra. Now it's difficult for Sudanese army to completely remain in control of the border areas. So I tried to get information from the ground, some intelligence from there. I could not. Rather, I learned from the ground that Eritrean forces left Humera. That we knew that it was going to happen. Ultimately, Eritrea was not going to stay in Humera forever. They had to withdraw, and reportedly they withdrew from Humera within the last 48, 72 hours, which could be an indication that Tigray could retake Volkite, Humera peacefully. So why would then Tigray fighters launch an attack on Volkite from Sudan? I am unable to understand. Secondly, we would sit-at-home strikes. Are the strikes happening in the Amhara region, or just social media campaign is underway? Yesterday we heard that people in Bahirdar went on strike. They closed businesses and they went on strike after I think 2 p.m. local time. Then today we saw similar reports. Now it is being claimed that Debre Marcos is on strike. No protests, that sit-at-home strikes, which means that no businesses, markets open, no institutions open. Is it just a way of trying to mobilize the people of the Amhara region that such social media campaign is underway? Or is there full strike in Debre Marcos? What happened in Bahirdar yesterday? Again, I could not confirm a full-scale strike in Bahirdar yesterday. Rather, in Debre Birhan, security restrictions are being lifted. Though gatherings are banned, but yet yesterday security command post lifted restrictions on movement of vehicles and people. Still carrying of weapons, wearing of security forces uniform, and holding of processions, gatherings is banned. Other restrictions have been lifted because situation is under control in Debre Birhan in North Shore Zone. But in Gajam, an attempt is being made to mobilize people by asking them to start sit-at-home strikes. Businesses are open, reportedly partially. So an attempt will be made to turn these sit-at-home strikes into protests, into uprising, it seems. Lastly, viewers, Mike Hammer and Annette Weber arrived in Mekelle today. Mike Hammer is U.S. Special Envoy to the Horn of Africa. Annette Weber is European Union's Special Envoy to the Horn of Africa. Both played a key role, especially Mike Hammer, in the talks which led to the signing of Pretoria deal between Ethiopian government and Tigray People Vision Fund. Mike Hammer was seen in Tigray before the third round of fighting in August. Back then, he took a selfie with Debretsion, and that selfie went viral in Ethiopia at least. He faced criticism that he was hand in glove with the Tigray leadership. And then we saw start of war in August. But Tigray forces could not resist they could not defend their territories. Ultimately, Tigray forces had to make compromises at table in Pretoria. Now, Mike Hammer and Weber are in Mekelle. Obviously, Tigray's main priority is now reconstruction, financial assistance, retaking of Volkayat and Raya, and withdrawal of all forces, including Eritrean military from Tigray. Let's see what happens. We'll try to update you after Mike Hammer and Weber speak. They'll speak in coming hours. Let's see what they focus in their talk. Are they going to focus on accountability, reconstruction, Raya Volkayat, withdrawal of Eritrean military? We'll update in coming videos about the visit of Mike Hammer and Annette Weber. Thank you for watching.